Rohit, thank you for doing this show with me.
Not at all. It's my pleasure. I've been actually wanting to do it for the longest time, and unfortunately, time was not working out, but I'm glad to be here.
Last night I was cutting my nails, raised with कि शाम को नहीं काटना है. Obviously my mom's not there, but her words rang in my ears for a moment, and then I had to get past that feeling.
In my case, I have only one child. I dote on her, but I don't want her to grow up like a princess. I want to grow up like a warrior.
Did fatherhood change you in terms of the roles that you were taking on? How did you approach your work? Because suddenly you are a dad now.
Strangely, I've been an actor for more than 3 decades, almost 30 years. Yeah, 95 is when Swabhiman released. We're in 2025.
I saw your 30-year. That was a great show, by the way. I was in college.
My daughter was growing up, got an offer for a film called Kabil. Kabil was Hrithik Roshan was the hero. Sanjay Gupta narrated the script to me, and I was like, oh God, this is the role of a rapist. So I said, oh God, I don't want my daughter to see me like this. And I refused the film. I lost my father when he was just 49. I was 15 years old and he had a massive cardiac arrest.
Doesn't matter how old you are. I lost my mom as well. So it's the grief aspect of trauma is pretty powerful.
Yeah, because you know what happened to you can never affect me at that level that has affected you. Alcohol is not cool. When you're younger, of course, you digest and process anything is given to you. In my time, I used to have everything in my mind, even till date. 9 to 11, workout, 1 o'clock lunch, evening snack, pickleball, read or watch TV, go to sleep. Been able to say that I've had 20 hits, not 2. Having said that, the failures never affected me because I was so cocky. It's okay. Projects have failed. I have not. My hunger is still there. The fire still burns bright. आज जो है वो कल नहीं होने वाला है और ये तो लिखित है.
Rohit, thank you for doing this show with me.
Not at all. It's my pleasure. I've been actually wanting to do it for the longest time, and unfortunately, time was not working out. But I'm glad to.
I know. I was really impressed with your focus on health and well-being and all the conversation that you're driving, particularly with men, in general, of course, with everyone. And of course, I've been doing this conversation around fatherhood.
Right.
But we all know that they're both connected. Fatherhood,
Absolutely.
well-being.
They can't be
health.
more connected.
Exactly. So thanks for accepting the opportunity.
Thank you. Pleasure.
So I want to start by going a little bit into, we won't dwell too much on the childhood, but I wanted to see what was your inspiration as you were growing up? Were there some role models where you felt like, health is a critical factor, or at some point in your life you felt that, no, this is important for me? How did that whole thing evolve for you?
Quite honestly, Subhasis, when you're younger, you don't really pay heed to all these things, that health is a factor or health could be important because you're 16, 17, your health is at a peak. Anything you eat or drink gets digested very easily.
Yep.
Your BMR is very high. Obviously, if you're a normal, healthy person, all your organs are working optimally.
Yeah.
It's only after 35, 40, when your system starts slowing down, is when you pay a little extra attention.
Yep.
I think similar things happened to me. When I was 35, I was still at the peak of my game physically.
But you always had a regime, right?
On the contrary, my brother's always been into working out and strength training,
right.
and I was always the bookworm. I was always in my books. I used to wear my chashma and go in a corner and study. I was never a gym person.
Interesting. No one would think that looking at you.
Yeah, because then I think once I became an actor, it became a prerequisite of my profession.
Of course, yeah.
That's when I started working out. But going back, since you asked me about my childhood, I have to mention that I lost my father when he was just 49.
Oh my God.
I was 15 years old and he had a massive cardiac arrest. And on the face of it, he was quite healthy. You know, that's probably when it struck me that, it's not only how you look, it's how you are doing inside. Obviously, he had complications, which in those days, I know you're going to get to the stage where we talk about alpha males.
Yeah.
Those were the alpha males.
Right.
The alpha males at that time didn't think that anything could happen to them. My father, for me, was invincible. I'm sure in his eyes also.
As all dads.
They were that, like, what can happen to me? And they were more concerned about what was happening to their family, taking care, the typical alpha male.
Yeah.
And I think there's somewhere the seed must have been sown in my mind that I have to be healthy inside.
Yeah.
The aesthetics, what you're talking about, of how nobody would believe I was never into fitnesses, that came around for me much later when I became an actor. But I think that was that crucial turning point in my life.
I'm sorry to hear. I didn't know. It's not there in the public realm.
Yeah, I don't talk
your
about
loss,
it much
yeah.
because it becomes like a sob story. I don't want it to be a sob story. I think my dad was my hero.
Yeah.
You asked me about an inspiration. My dad was my hero.
What was his profession? If you can,
He was a businessman.
Okay.
In fact, he was in the medical profession. He used to make syringes and IV tubes and all of that.
got it. Was he out traveling a lot, or he
Not
spent a lot
particularly.
of time with you guys?
No, in fact, we were 5 minutes away from Jaslok when it happened. And the
Wow.
doctor came and he said it's acidity.
He's what?
Acidity.
Oh wow.
He didn't say it's a cardiac arrest or
Right.
get some tests done or let's take him to the hospital. He said, no, he's probably had a late dinner, so he's feeling acidic. And why don't you just go to sleep? He went to sleep, never woke up.
Oh my God. I'm sorry to. I know it's
that's
it
okay.
does leave a trauma, and the grief stays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That trauma never leaves you.
Yeah.
Never. I still feel that, fortunately, in fact, going off topic, I was in Kerala and I went to one of those temples and there's a priest looked at me and in Malayalam, he told his assistant who knew Hindi, he said, please tell him that his father is nearby, just by looking at me.
Wow.
So that for
That's
me
incredible.
was, but I was always very close to my dad.
Yeah.
Very, very close.
Yeah, it's a whole different conversation that I lost my dad. I was pretty old by then, just 7 years back.
Oh.
But it still hit me really
Oh,
hard.
yeah.
It doesn't matter how old you are. Your dad,
Doesn't matter.
your mom. I lost my mom as well. So it's the grief aspect of
gosh.
trauma is pretty powerful.
And words, and all your friends, your family want to rally around you.
Yeah,
Doesn't make any difference.
absolutely. Yeah, and I think there's another. Again, like I said, it's another topic, but this is another conversation that's not had a lot in the normal sphere, like you said. People say the words, but they're not really in tune with what
Yeah,
you're
because
feeling.
what happened to you can never affect me at that level that has
Right.
affected
True,
you. So
true.
even though I might want to show my sympathies, it's just that, sympathies.
True.
And if you're genuine in your sympathies, maybe your friend will feel a little better, but it never takes away the pain and
Yeah.
the trauma. Never. I don't think so.
Yeah. It's funny you said he passed away at 49. There's I don't know if you know this guy. He's a CNN anchor, Anderson Cooper. He's very healthy and focuses a lot on health.
Okay.
His dad passed away when he was 50, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny, he said, I always think that I would only live till 50. Somehow, I can't get past that number
Oh, wow,
because
is
my
that right?
dad passed at 50.
Thank God I'm 55 now. Oh my God.
I was like, that's fascinating.
Yeah, but also there's a reason why when people do die between 45 and 50, which I didn't understand then because for me heart attacks they happen to old people.
Old people, exactly.
So the doctor of course explained that your heart is so strong when you're younger that
Yeah.
even the attack is stronger.
Oh,
So the myocardial infarction is much, much stronger when you're between 45 and 50.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's
I just crossed 50. I'm 51.
yeah. Oh, you're 51?
yeah.
You're a good looking 51. You could pass off as early 40s.
I'm definitely following a little bit of health routine, but that came later as well. But speaking of health, there are two sides to it, of course. One is physical, the other one is mental health. Another topic that I wish there was more. There's obviously more conversation now than in our dad's generation.
Oh, yeah.
But there's still a
There
lot
was no
more.
conversation then.
Absolutely.
Nothing.
The vocabulary was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But now, how have you seen this evolve? How have you taken care of your own mental health, and particularly in the entertainment world? How is this topic addressed?
So over the last decade or a little lesser, people have started talking about mental health. As you're aware, even bigger stars have come out and spoken about their
struggles.
anxiety, their struggles with mental health. See, there is one thing which is you cannot deny it. Today's day is much more stressful than earlier. Somehow I feel that.
Absolutely.
Also, when you cross decade to decade, your mindset changes, your goals, your aspirations, everything changes. But the pressures keep increasing.
Yep.
However successful you might be, your pressures again to achieve that much more increases. I used to say, I had broken out in a rash and I had gone to a skin doctor and he asked me, is that koi stress hai kya? I laughed and I said, nahi, I'm not the kind of guy who ever takes stress because that's the kind of guy I am.
Sure.
And then he looked at my wife and said, koi stress hai kya? And I was going through something at that point.
Got it.
So your body, even when you don't know it, your mind is taking stress. You don't know it.
Yep.
So you have to be aware.
It's very
firstly,
unconscious.
Yeah, you have to be conscious that you are going through something. You have to acknowledge it. That yes, I'm going through something. This too shall pass. but I am going through something. And then if you need help of any kind, whether it's going to a mental health expert or to a doctor, you just talk to your GP.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not feeling good or whatever. It's not a bad thing because it does affect your heart in some way or the other.
Sure, absolutely.
And as far as I'm concerned, I like to be healthy. I like to be fit. I get my tests done every 6 months. I visit my doctor every 6 months. Whatever happens, I don't take it for granted anymore.
Yep.
Because obviously my doctor knows that I'm predisposed, me and my brother, predisposed to, high cholesterol levels. My father passed away of that. But fortunately, both me and my brother are, fit and fine, touch wood. So I feel, as opposed to the views of the CNN guy,
Right.
I feel, because I'm a Hindu, I feel my father went away, but he gave those extra years of his life.
Yeah, that's another philosophical way to look at it. But in that particular moment, where did you know you were struggling and you didn't tell your
No,
doctor,
I didn't know.
or you didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
Interesting.
Because I've always been a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy. Successes and failures have not really taken me to great highs and great lows ever.
Yeah.
If a film of mine failed, I would just move on. I swear, I would not even think about it. I knew that if it had worked, I would have probably gone on to the next level.
Yeah.
Similarly, when I did a good film like Kabil and it worked brilliantly and people spoke about my character, that euphoria was for a day.
Yeah.
The next day I was exactly what I was 3 days back. So none of those things used to affect me or positively or negatively, which is why I didn't know what I was going through. Until
So
that
this realization was in the hindsight.
No, the skin doctor told me that you have to go. This is not a rash. This is something which has come from inside. This is psychosomatic.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that, I am going through something, but I'm not acknowledging it.
Yeah.
I think that was the turning point of my, the way I look at mental health. I acknowledged it. Okay, I'm going through this.
Yeah.
And I think within a week, everything disappeared. My rashes disappeared. I was fine. So maybe it was not such a big thing, but you just have to recognize what happens and when and why and just address that.
And do you feel like you see that around you, or you don't feel like the people are struggling but they're not able to express? How do you experience it in your...
So when you come to the Indian male,
Yes.
we never ever... So we've grown up in an environment, like I told you, my father was alpha male.
Yeah.
So he was my hero, he was my brother's hero, he was the breadwinner, he was the man. Now, how does the man of the house go to his child or go to his wife and tell them that he's not well?
Right.
It's
He's
a
struggling.
taboo. It's a taboo. We don't do it. There is a split side to it where even I believe that a real man does not let his family or people who are dependent on him, does not let them know exactly what he's going through.
Yep.
Because that somehow upsets the apple cart of your child. She starts overthinking, your wife, she starts overthinking, your mother's always worried. But having said that, it's very important to have that conversation with somebody who you trust.
Yep.
It could be your brother, it could be your friends.
A trusted friend,
You
yeah.
have to
Your
have, I'm
community.
sure everybody has that one or two friends
Sure.
who you can call up and say, yeah, bro, not feeling good, so let's meet. Just that's it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go into details of why you're
That's
not
right.
feeling good. But if you ask me today, I'm not even close to being an alpha male. I am very happy being the second
equal
fiddle in my
partner, right.
household. My mother, it was my mother first, then my wife, now my daughter. These three women basically rule my life
Yeah.
and my home. But if you ask me what's the best way to handle mental health issues, speak to your spouse.
Yeah.
And pray and wish that your spouse hears you, not listens to you, hears you,
Yeah.
understands what you're going through, and doesn't give you gyan about it.
Yeah. Just acknowledges what you're
Yeah,
going
just
through.
acknowledges it.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not somebody who's going to be able to help you one-on-one, but she'll probably, just be there as a support.
Yeah.
And similarly, I mean, if wives are going through something, speak to your husband, because I think a spouse is the best witness to your life.
For
He
sure.
or she knows what
Yeah.
you're going through, and even though we don't talk about
They
it,
catch you actually
they should be
sometimes.
aware, right? So speak to your spouse, I feel.
And
Doesn't make you less of a man.
right. That's the journey. I've had my own journey. Even though like you said, I was raised by. My dad was again provider. Outside. I have 3 sisters, mom and grandmom. I grew up in Orissa.
Oh,
So,
Orissa.
yeah.
I'm doing an Uriya film, by the way. As we
That's-
speak.
shoot,
Wow.
Wow, that's a good coincidence.
Oh, I always thought you were
Would love-
Bengali because of.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same,
Right.
the names are kind of
Bhai-Bain.
exactly. So I've been influenced a lot by women. So I feel like one of the byproducts of that is that I'm in touch, I'm okay, comfortable with expressing emotions, right? But I know that when that language is not there
Yeah.
in your childhood,
It's tough.
it's very hard to come to terms with that. Yeah. Now coming to the next phase of your life, right? When you became a dad, that's the other thing that I've been pursuing in my conversations. Obviously, dads and moms play a different role, and there are some stereotypes. But you having raised a daughter, I think one of the things, I have a son and a daughter, a 13-year-old
nice.
and
Perfect.
a 10-year-old girl. Being in touch with your emotions and showing that side to your kids is another thing that I've been exploring. And you go through different phases of your life, right? Like dads have the stereotypes that I'm strong, I'm this, and that I can play sport with you. But if you are struggling with something, then go to mom, right? How has that played out in your life? How have you navigated being in tune with your emotions, with your...
So, quite honestly, obviously, I've also, at the beginning of my becoming a father, wanted to be the invincible hero, right?
Yeah.
We all, at some level, do not want our kids to see the chinks in our armor. So I was quite like that, and I would, also you want your daughter to look at you and say, my dad, my hero. We've read so much about this that
So
you think
much.
this is what the stereotypical father should be like.
That's right.
My father, my hero, my invincible guy. So initially, till the time she was in her teens, I mean, that's what I felt, that's what I'd portray. Of course, she was too young for me to share any of my issues or problems.
Yeah.
Then she became a teenager. You're getting there.
I'm getting
You'll
there.
see the difference of how your sweet princess can become a warrior the moment she gets into her teens. I went through that. It was
For the good reasons.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And this is
Because
all
they grow.
natural. This is all the part of growing up.
Exactly.
That's the time when a father can do no right.
Right.
Nothing you do is right. That will last till about she's 18, and then she goes to college, and then of course she matures and sees life differently.
Different perspective.
She has life experiences now to share. But for me, I've never been like that. Okay, if you have an issue, go to your mother and like that. I have always tried to be a friend to my daughter. I feel if your daughter feels safe enough and protected enough to come and share everything she wants to with you,
Yeah.
there can't be a better
100%.
relationship than that, especially for a father-daughter.
Yeah.
Now, in my case, I have only one child, and that too a daughter, and I'm an extremely possessive kind of father.
Yeah.
I dote on her, but I
Understandable.
don't want her to grow up like a princess. I want her to grow up like a warrior.
Right.
And so, just to give you an example, like my wife would pray that she has a fairy tale life. I never pray for that. There is nothing like a fairy tale life. So I pray that any curveball that's thrown, that life throws at you, give her the strength to deal with that curveball.
Yeah.
Because life is going to throw those curveballs at you sooner or later. And just give her the strength to deal with all that. Because I see that today's, like we mentioned earlier, there's so much of pressure today.
Yeah.
Whether it's your education, or then it's following up with a job, or
And
then
information,
trying
social media.
and the pressures of social media. Fortunately, she's been far removed from that. But when she does get into social media, I mean, there's lots of stuff.
Yeah. Particularly girls. have a lot of
Everybody's
pressure.
putting their best foot forward. You're looking at life through rose-tinted glasses, but it's not that, right?
Right.
So I pray to God that you give her that kind of strength, inner strength, that she can deal with everything. And
Did you consciously follow that as a parenting strategy, like exposing her to?
yeah, I
some
never
of the
give her
tough
bullshit.
Right.
I think the moment you start giving bullshit to your child, you think you're protecting them, but you're making them weaker.
Right.
You're not protecting. I mean, you as a parent, you are going to protect your child
Yeah,
as
you
much
al-
as you can.
You
And
wanna give
will
them
always
comfort.
try to be the armor, but you must also realize that there will be a time you won't be around.
They won't be with you.
How does she deal with that then? So don't mollycoddle your child so much that she grows up to be weak. I feel that every parent is different. Parenting it's like a thumbprint. Every single relationship is different. So I don't want to advise or
Yeah.
tell people what to do. But I'd say, make your daughter tough. I keep saying daughter because I have a daughter.
Yep.
we have this thing that, our sons should be tough, but our daughters should be like, that's a stupid thing to do. Make your daughters even tougher than your sons, So that's what I tried to do with Kiara. Fortunately, Kiara has got a good head on her shoulders, so...
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the narratives around boys and how young men are growing up in India. But before that, I was curious, did fatherhood change you in terms of the roles that you were taking on? How did you approach your work? Because suddenly you are a dad now.
Interesting
and your
question.
choices.
I'll give you an example which will tell you how your mindset does change. You see, strangely, I've been an actor for more than 2.5 decades.
30 years?
3 decades almost.
Right.
30 years, yeah. 95 is when Swabhiman released. We are in 2025.
I saw your 30 years.
Right,
yeah.
right.
That was a great show, by the way. I was in college.
Thank you so much. And I never really used to give too much of thought about the character I was playing, positive, negative, this, that. My daughter was growing up and I got an offer for a film called Kabil. Kabil was Hrithik Roshan was the hero.
Yep.
They'd already cast my brother. They were looking for my brother's younger brother. Who better than that to
cast the real brother?
Then come to me.
Right.
The director was my very, very dear family friend, Sanjay Gupta. Rakesh Roshan was the producer. So it was all the boxes were ticked, right?
Yeah.
And then Sanjay Gupta narrated the script to me. And I was like, oh God, this is the role of a rapist.
Oh wow, that was in the script.
So my first thought was, no, I can't do this. Because whatever you say, your thought about rapists is Shakti Kapoor.
Right.
Because they were the ones who really made that genre chilling, right? So I said, oh God, I don't want my daughter to see me like this.
Right.
And I refused the film. Such a big film. My best friend is the director. Hrithik is the hero. My brother is doing a role in that. And I refused the film. And it took a long time for me to say no to Gupta, because how do you say no to your best friend, right?
Yeah.
But he understood immediately.
Yeah.
He understood. I didn't have to tell him all that.
You didn't have to tell him why?
No, I didn't tell him. I sent him a long note saying that, I've not been able to sleep and I don't know how to say this, but the only way to say is that I don't want to do the film. But he understood why I didn't want to do the film.
It's really nice of
That's
him.
what friendships are all about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll tell you how interesting the story was. That after a week of this, I was in my salon getting my hair cut, and my other best friend, again a Sanjay Suri, the actor, he was getting his hair cut too, and we had the same barber. And so I'm sitting there having coffee, he's getting the haircut, so he's saying, "Aur kya chal raha hai?" I said, "Wo Kabil ka offer aaya tha, maine mana kar diya." I said no. He almost pushed the barber away, and I'm not exaggerating. He looked at me and he used an expletive which he never uses.
Right.
Sanjay Suri is your quintessential good guy. He
Gentleman,
never uses
right.
expletives.
Right.
He looked at me and said, "Beep, beep, beep. Tune kya kar diya?" I said no to the film. He said, "Are you mad? You have a Hrithik Roshan playing the hero. They want you and Ronit to play brothers, which is a formidable force. Never have you seen them on the big screen together.
Right.
You have Rakesh Roshan producing it, and you have your best friend directing it, and you said no. Why?" So I said, "Yaar, wo rapist ka role hai." So again he looked at me and said, "Beep, beep, beep, to tu actor kyun bana?"
Wow.
If you don't have
It's a
it
tough
in you
question.
to challenge yourself
Yeah.
and say that, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it my way. He said, you have that whole swag thing going. You do it in a stylish way.
Yep.
Nobody is telling you to do, He made me call Sanjay Gupta from the salon. Sanjay Gupta was in Khandala. I said, "Have you cast for it?" He said, "Yeah, almost. We've already looked at some options. We've almost cast." I said, "Don't cast anybody." He said, "What?" I said, "Don't cast anybody. When are you back?" He was back on a Wednesday, I think. I went straight into his office, dressed as the character. Now, this is what friendships also is. He looked at me and his team was sitting. He said, "Aa gaya mera villain." That's it. There was no conversation. Wow, you've come back. Who are you? You can't say
Nothing.
no. Nothing. He picked up the phone, called Rakesh ji, said, "Rohit has agreed. He's coming to your office, sign it." So, yes, your decision. I went into a completely different zone because it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
But having children, especially a daughter, it does, for me personally, not impacts, but somewhere decides what kind of characters or roles I want to play.
Yeah.
And I think from the time she was born, there was only one thing on my mind, that now whatever body of work I have, which is why you don't see me too often.
Right.
Whatever body of work I have, I want nothing of that to embarrass my child when she grows up.
Yeah.
That was my thought when they put her in my hand. after the delivery.
No
First
matter
time.
how much distance you want to keep between
Yeah, it's
fatherhood
not
and
possible.
work, right?
It's not possible because you see, and today with social media, if they say something, and these things, whatever you say, affect children.
Yeah,
They
that's
do.
a fascinating story. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So I
Yeah.
thought maybe it'll be interesting.
No,
to hear.
absolutely. I mean, it does. I mean, of course, I'm not in your business, but fatherhood affects your professional
Yeah.
approach,
It does,
no
it
matter
does.
what
And
you
it should.
do.
You
Absolutely.
you can't keep both
Yeah.
the things completely
Isolated.
separate.
Yeah. Now, coming to the narratives of, I know you've spoken a lot about how some of the old stereotypes of, masculinity in the screen, in the Indian context. And I know you believe in a certain kind of masculinity. How do you see this changing in the Indian entertainment space? Because it affects,
Are you talking about
affects-
on-screen
on-screen,
portrayals
on-screen
of-
portrayal of Indian male.
Again, interesting
And
question.
how is it being portrayed? What should change? Because it affects millions of young men growing up in this country, right?
So India is made up of, as we all know, two halves. The majority lives in the villages.
Yep, exactly.
A percentage of that lives in cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Kolkata, etc. Both viewerships and whatever they imbibe out of a film are very different.
Right.
Unfortunately, even today, the portrayal of a patriarch on Indian cinema is
Still well entrenched.
stereotypical.
Yep.
You still feel that you should be like this if you're a parent or a father.
Yep.
You will always show the mother as a caregiver
Right.
and the father as a disciplinarian.
Yep.
That needs to break, I feel.
Even though it's catering to millions of people in the villages, right?
Because it's catering to
Right.
millions.
Right.
Because I know that I won't get affected by this. Because I might, if I'm a disciplinarian, so is my wife.
Yep.
If I'm a caregiver, so is my wife. We
Right.
have equal
There's more
partnership
equality
on
in
that.
the urban.
It's
areas.
very clear.
Yeah.
But this portrayal affects those people sitting there in the villages who are already living those lives.
Yep.
So they look and say, हाँ, मेरा डैड तो ऐसा ही है. तो
TV
बराबर
में
है.
तो यही दिखा रहा है.
So when you're showing that and when you're seeing your wife as the father or the patriarch as this alpha male, you think that's the right thing. So when will it change? How will you change? Why will you change? Because you are getting validation from a big star.
Yep.
And he's saying this is the way it should be if you're a father. So I think if that
And if
changes,
kids are watching that,
Yeah.
they're also shaping their own imagination. Right?
they will grow up exactly like that
Right.
because they think it's the right thing. I'm not blaming them.
Right.
I'm not blaming any of them. But I'm saying that if you grow up looking at popular cinema,
Yep.
and your popular cinema is people who are saying that this is the way you should be, you will grow up like that. Whatever you say that cinema imitates art, life imitates cinema.
Art, yep.
It's all the lines are very blurred.
Yep.
It works
Agreed,
both ways.
agreed.
So if I see something, if I see an actor I'm really passionate about, I'm inspired by, and he plays a particular character, I will believe in that. I mean, that's what
100%,
acting is,
100%.
right? You believe in what that man is doing.
Absolutely.
So I feel if that narrative changes on screen, and it is, but not in the mass films. In niche films where you want to show a real life parent, you don't show your father like that always. Now you show understanding fathers. You have characters written in terms of how today's fathers are.
Right.
But still, I feel that needs to change because we are doing grave injustice to those people sitting in the villages who are inspired by characters. You're making them believe that that's the right kind of parenting to do,
Yeah.
which is incorrect, according to me. That's my personal thought.
Right. Now, have you had any instances where you were like, holy cow, I didn't realize what I do is having such an impact in people on good or not so good ways? Is there any story?
Not particularly.
Like you
Yeah,
met
see-
somebody and they said, wow, I saw this and I was inspired by this or something like that. I'm curious
It's a
to know.
very,
Because you go back to Ahmedabad and other cities, right? Like to
yeah, of course, I go back. But, Ahmedabad is, because that's
Still-
home.
Right.
My friends don't shy away from telling me what they think. But now they kind of appreciate what I do. No, but having said that, I mean, I used to, the two of my biggest successes in terms of film and characters, one was Shootout at Lokhandwala and one was Kabil.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, both of them were negative roles.
Right.
And both of them, both the characters, the audience really liked. there have been people who have come and said, "Okay, wow, kya character tha
That
Kabil
movie
mein."
was Shootout. I have watched.
Yeah,
It was really
and so
powerful.
even when I go through some of the bylanes of Bombay, even today on my bike, where you can see who I am on my face, they'll shout "Phattu bhai, Phattu bhai." No, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that when kids get influenced or enjoy a character so much, when you know that these characters are completely negative, that you
Right.
should not, definitely the character in Kabil, I mean, you
Sure.
know, and when people are like, kya lag rahe the, aap kya kaam kiya hai, you are just worried that, I hope you don't think that this is what you should be like,
Right.
or these are the things that you should do to look
Emulate.
cool.
Yeah.
You know, and also that responsibility, you know, unfortunately, eve teasing is on the rise in spite of so many corrective measures put into place by local governments and police and all that still happening.
Yeah.
Now with social media, there's social media bullying,
Yeah.
you know, all of that.
I was
So you
gonna-
don't want in any way to inspire even one person to be like the character I played
Right.
in Kabil,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I hope that people are intelligent enough to understand that that's just a character. It's a bad character. It's what you should not
What
be.
not to do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, I was just curious, were you a dad when you did Shootout?
When I was what?
Were you already a dad when you did that role?
No, not then. I was very young that time.
Right,
I
right.
wasn't. Yeah.
Got it.
Shootout was in. Oh yeah. Of course I was dad.
2006, 2007,
2007.
right?
Yeah. Of course I
somewhere.
was dad. She was born in 2002, but she was still a baby. So you know,
Right.
she was at that stage where we should not get affected by looking at me. Good question. Yeah, she was there, but she was 5. So she obviously didn't see the film.
Right. Yeah. She wasn't allowed to see the movie.
She wasn't allowed to see anything. She's
Right.
not allowed, but I don't know. Subconsciously, we kept her away from
Yeah, understandably,
cinema
yeah.
and all that glitz and glamour. You know, I don't know why, because she enjoys film, she enjoys art.
Yeah.
You know, she's a trained dancer. She does ballet. She does Kathak. So we used to take her around the world, and Mansi, of course, this credit goes to Mansi, would take her to every. So if you're in Paris, we'd go to the Louvre.
Right.
Any place that had a museum.
Yep.
We used to take her everywhere, which is where her interest for art.
And it's fascinating. She
that's-
chose
yeah, and that's
art.
how she majored in art history.
That's incredible.
So yeah, but we used to subconsciously keep her away, and that's why fortunately she didn't see my portrayal of Fattu in Shootout.
Right.
But I must make sure she watches it now.
Well, you know, I was thinking, my daughter isn't.
How old is your daughter now?
She's 10. She's going to be
She's
11
10.
in a couple of weeks. She's very much into art. So we were in,
Oh, nice.
wherever we
Oh,
go,
that's
Paris
nice.
and Amsterdam. We were in Madrid a couple of weeks back. We took her to Museo de Prado.
Ah.
My son is into football. So of course we went to the Real Madrid stadium. But we also, obviously he comes along with us. And he looks at the art and he's like, you know, I'm not speaking to me, whatever.
Yeah.
But I realize that even though they don't show interest, in some shape, it must
It does.
affect them, you know. It doesn't matter boy or
correct.
girl.
You're right.
So I don't, you know, at least from my standpoint, I'm like, you know, music or art, even though he's into sports,
Yeah.
I feel like one can help the other one, right?
No,
should
you must expose them
Yeah.
to all these things for sure. Like exactly what
Yeah.
you said that happened to Kiara when she was a little baby. I mean,
Yeah,
what is she going to see in the Louvre?
right.
I mean, you've seen.
What is she going to understand?
You saw Mona Lisa, okay? In this huge place, there is one tiny painting behind a bulletproof glass.
Yeah,
So you've heard so much about Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa, you've flown all the way half across the world, and then you go to the Louvre and you see that, and that's it. And there's so many greater paintings there, artworks.
Yeah.
She'd get fed up as
right.
a child.
Yeah. I
6, 7,
they have
you
only
see
this much
that
attention
They
span.
want to go out, they want to have a candy somewhere, they want to have ice cream.
Right.
But what we didn't realize is that there's an maybe it's passive
Subconsciously.
subconsciously that art is feeding into you because it's a visual medium. You're looking at all that great art, and sometime when you're sitting alone, said, you know, that painting that I saw, my God.
Yeah.
So her liking for art has had to come from all these
Sure,
visits, right?
sure.
So you're right. You must expose them,
Yeah,
whether they
you
like it
never
or
know.
not, whether they take it up as a profession. You'll find out later
Right.
in life.
Yeah. Now, you talked about raising her, you know, in kind of a more normal. I'm pretty sure in your work, in your space of work, there was so much conflict of how kids were growing up. You probably see a lot of kids growing up in ways that you and your wife didn't subscribe to. How hard was it to kind of give her a normal childhood, as maybe your childhood was, quote unquote normal, compared to.
So we tried our best to give her the normal childhood that we had.
Got it.
Like I said, there were instances when
you were intentional about it?
Like you say, like we just discussed that if you play a character which is an alpha male and the kids are looking at that alpha male and you like that actor, you think this is the way to be.
Yeah.
Then you see your father at home, you see him in a particular way, and there's nothing wrong in it.
Sure.
So you're going to imbibe the same kind of sensibilities and thinking.
Yeah.
When you have a child.
Sure.
It is natural.
Right.
So obviously I was like my father in a lot of ways. So is my brother. My brother's more like my father. I am somewhere, I would say, between my mother and my father when capabilities are concerned and how I deal with my children. So in the beginning, till she was 9, 10, we were trying to bring her up the way I thought was correct, and every father will do that. After that certain age, like for instance, she was so far removed from what me and Mansi did as professionals, that when I used to go to the school and somebody would want a picture,
right,
she'd be like, why does this auntie want a picture with you?
That's crazy.
So that was crazy. And then we had to explain that, this is what we do for a living. And automatically after 9, 10, 11, you don't have to raise them. They raise you.
Right. They have
my
their own
entire
opinion.
mindset to parenting changed when she started walking into her teens. And it's not only about their hormones are all over the place.
Right.
There is a certain amount of maturity that comes into a girl child much faster than boys.
I'm noticing that.
Yeah, and at 10, 11, they have a mind which starts forming opinions, which are very, very strong and steadfast. So I think they start raising you. My mindset about parenting changed. The way I should deal with her, the way I should speak with her, the way...
Can you think of what changed? I'm just...
So it's again a natural, organic change in your thought process. I don't think you're trying to change, but you do realize that you've heard of generation gap, right? Now, generational gap is as old as the hills.
Sure.
You didn't realize it. I mean, your father didn't realize it when he was raising you, but you realized it.
Right.
The dad, this is not the way things are done.
Right.
But my dad was alpha male, so I didn't have the guts to go and tell him that. Today's kids do have the guts.
They'll tell you,
They will question you.
For sure.
Arey, 7 baje ke baad, you don't cut your nails. Why? What is the logic behind it?
We were all grown.
We were told by my mother that you don't do this.
Saturday
ko ye nahi karte hain, Tuesday ko ye nahi karte hain.
It's funny.
So then she put a very good point across. I don't think I remember it correctly, but she said, Baba, I am assuming that in the good old days, there was no electricity. So after sundown, maybe you couldn't see where you were cutting your nails and it was probably falling all over the place, and that would be a mess, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, there doesn't seem to be any logic कि रात को 6 बजे बाद नाखून नहीं काटते. तुम मेरे को एक लॉजिक दे दो, मैं नहीं काटूंगी. You can't argue. I'm not that guy. So that's when you change.
And you have to adapt. You're just like, makes sense.
And it makes sense, right? No, I changed my opinion about it.
Right.
So now when my mother says, I just smile at her that all my life I've been doing what you've told me, but this makes sense. So this is how you change it, because they put in a few points which are absolutely logical. And I have a very simple thing. Either you convince me or I convince you. Even with the people I work, it's the same. Like if you're my director, if I disagree with you, I'll put my point across.
Sure.
So either you convince me or I convince you.
Makes
Similarly
sense.
with the kids. I mean, why don't you give them the importance that they also have a logical thinking, discerning mind?
Yeah, they're independent human beings.
Treat them like adults at a very early age.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't pamper them. Of course, we pampered our daughter, but treat them as adults, young adults. So it will also help them form their opinions in a way where they are doing lateral thinking. They are weighing their pros and cons before
making
they tell you
decisions.
something.
Yeah. It's funny you talked about cutting nails. Last night I was cutting my nails, and I've been raised with कि शाम को नहीं काटना.
शाम को नहीं,
And for a moment I'm like, shit. My obviously my mom's not there, but her words rang in my ears for a moment.
True.
And then I had to get past that feeling.
So even
no matter
today,
how much
I told
know.
you that nowadays I do it, but nowadays also I feel very guilty when I cut my
हाँ,
nails.
लगता है अंदर थोड़ा तो रहता है.
We are born like that, we are raised like that.
Exactly.
And I think we will pass like that only.
Right.
Because for that small thing, I don't want to upset my mother.
Yeah.
अभी बोल रही है 50 साल से सुन रहा हूँ तो कुछ साल और सही.
Right. Absolutely. No, I agree. I mean, I'm seeing the shift in my daughter as well. I was telling her I'm going to Bombay tomorrow. And, she's just 10. And she said, Daddy, I genuinely hope that you have a good time tomorrow. And she used this word, I genuinely hope.
Oh, cool.
She didn't just say, have a great
Have a
trip.
great time, yeah.
That was and I was just putting her to bed and I said good night to her. And this is what she told me.
Yeah.
And what you said resonates a lot with me because now they speak to you at that stage in a very different way.
Yeah, very different way.
Yeah.
This is the age.
Yes.
And I'm going to warn you,
Of course. I know what's coming.
you get ready to lose her for the next 3-4 years.
Got it.
But in a good way.
Got it.
Because now this is the time when she forms her opinions. Her brain starts really working over time, absorbing so many things from her peers, from her superiors, from her the young kids around her. I think their brain is like a sponge at this age.
Yep.
Because I've gone through these 4-5 years. And you will lose her for that 4-5 years. She'll form her own little world in her brain. And then she'll automatically come back to you.
But is it more with the mom than with the dad? I'm just
More
curious.
to do with the dad.
Sorry?
Dad.
Oh, really? I'm
Sorry
trying
if
to
I'm
play.
scaring
I'm
you.
trying to play umpire between my wife and her.
No. She'll, you will see this again. It's a very organic.
Sure. That's
shift
good to know.
away.
Thanks for that heads up.
Yeah, I'm giving you the heads up because I've discussed this. Like you discuss it with your friends who are parents of the same age.
Yeah.
And I was going through, like there was lots of COVID time was very, very stressful. And a very dear friend of mine said, "Yeah, you know what? Nothing I do seems right." So I just smiled. I said, "Don't worry. Ghar ki kahani hai."
Yeah.
So there's nothing unnatural or anything to get worried or alarmed about. It is an organic, natural process of the kids growing up.
And you have to just sort of let go.
You have to
of
let
your
go.
own-
You have to let go. I'm a very, very indulgent, doting. My whole world is her, right?
So it must have hurt you a little bit.
Oh yeah. And I didn't know. I didn't understand this till I had the conversation with my friend. When you converse with it, that's the other thing that men don't
Right.
do.
Exactly.
We don't converse about these things because we think it makes us weak, which is not true. So this friend of mine, I won't name him, he was going through his own thing with his wife and the daughter and all of that. That paradigm shift was just about happening.
Got it.
And when he told me, I recognized it because the same thing was happening to me. So you realize that this is not unnatural. You're not the chosen one.
No.
It's happening to everybody
A lot
at
of
that
people. You're not
stage.
alone in this
Now
journey.
I've told you, now
Right.
you'll be
No.
aware and you'll be
It'll
conscious
ring.
of when that thing happens, you'll be able to see it happening.
Yeah.
So, and it's a great thing because on the other side, when she does come back, it's wonderful.
It's a whole different way
Wonderful,
of connection.
wonderful, yeah.
Right. Now,
Then she appreciates what you've gone through.
Right.
Currently, she takes it for granted.
Yeah. Or she thinks you're too old.
Not really. I mean,
My
that if
daughter
you let
keeps saying,
yourself
"Daddy,
go-
you are getting old."
No, that if you let yourself go old, my daughter is extremely proud of the way I am at 55.
Right.
She's very happy and she's my cheerleader. Earlier, as an actor, you kind of hesitate when somebody asks you, "So how old are you?" And you're like, blah, blah, blah. She said, "Dad,
Now you just.
you should be proud of the way you look in your 50s. You should proudly say that I'm 50." That's when I kind of
Oh, that
became
gives
very
you so much
comfortable.
wind beneath your wings,
Yeah,
as they say.
totally.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to let them be at this age and form their opinions and their beliefs
Yeah.
and all of that. Yeah.
That's great advice. Thank you. Now you talked about how men should connect more. Right? This is another topic that I've been exploring with other guests. Do you intentionally sort of nurture a community of male friends that you connect with and talk about? Because a lot of men, as you grow older, including myself, I feel like my friend circle's getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
For sure.
In my 30s, 40s, I had so many friends.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, and part of it is like, okay, I'm growing old, but you know that there's something about hanging out with other men. And
I
just
won't
the
say
way
you're
you-
growing old. I would say you're finally growing up.
Got it.
It's not about growing old. I mean, I am one of the most social people you've ever met in your life. I
Right.
don't have the actor trait. A lot of my friends say I'm way too accessible and way too easily accessible. which is why you can never
I
be
mean,
a Shah Rukh
clearly
Khan.
you're here, came to
Right,
this
yeah,
show.
so I take pride in the fact that I'm accessible because I sleep easy. If I meet you, hi, Subhasis, how are you doing?
Right.
You doing well? And you say, okay, thank you for doing it. Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. And if I see you, hi, thank you for it, come on, it's a pleasure, I'm happy to be here.
Right.
What am I leaving you with? I'm leaving you with a positive, happy thought.
Yep.
For me, that's an achievement. Behaving like a star or being inaccessible or whoever, God bless whoever does it, but
Sure.
I've never had two faces. This is the way I am. Coming back to your question,
Yeah.
I don't, earlier when I was in my 30s and 40s, I had a lot of close female friends
Sure.
because I used to find it easier to talk to
Connect
them.
with them. Right.
And I'll tell you why. Because as alpha male,
Yep.
I would not easily talk to my male friends about anything.
Or be vulnerable with other males.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
How can I show them I'm vulnerable?
Yeah.
And I personally, as a human being, do not discuss my problems with anybody.
Right.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. You must have at least one or two people because there will be two friends in your life, or at least one friend who you trust implicitly.
Sure.
And that friend is going to give you a no bullshit answer to any query of yours.
Yeah. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It
tell
doesn't
you-
matter.
Right.
So, when I turned 40, I think, I have 3 friends, 3 or 4 gine chune dost. All 3, their names, all 4 of them, their name starts with an S, strangely. And your name starts with an S too.
Right.
So there's Samir Soni, Sanjay Suri, Sanjay Gupta, Sudhanshu Pandey.
Wow.
Okay? These are my 4.
And they were your 4 close friends.
These are my 4 close friends for the last 30 years.
Wow. You're
Now,
lucky.
these are the 4
You're
people
lucky.
I can tell anything to anybody. And now all 4 of us are mostly in the same zone.
Phase of life.
Phase of life. Professionally, तो आगे पीछे होता रहता है. But personally, in terms of family, in terms of whatever we are doing with our kids, we are almost in the same phase.
That's incredible.
So now it becomes easier to talk to men. Now you don't think you're being vulnerable. Now you think you're just sharing
Yeah.
what's going on in your life. The moment I share with you, it'll be easier for you to share with me.
Sure. 100%.
So after so many years of never talking, I feel like they speak a lot more to me than I speak to them. Maybe it's an Aryan trait. Maybe I don't like to share. I don't know what it is. But now I feel
maybe childhood, however, many things,
my
right?
father.
Yeah, yeah. You sort of unconsciously mimic your
you're
role
absolutely.
Model, father.
Subconsciously,
Father
maybe
figure.
for me, consciously, I don't know. Because I said, my dad, my hero. Nobody did I love more than my father. Now, of course, after my dad, I became closest to my mother. And for me, I keep thanking dad that my mother's healthy.
Yep.
That he's kept her healthy and that he's blessed her. But I was very close to my father. I thought that's the way to be. That's how a male is. Right or wrong, I don't want to say anything because, I love my dad.
Yeah, yeah.
But now I've started talking about it. Now I can talk to my friends openly about it because everybody is going through the same thing. I'm sure after we finish the interviews, if you were here, we would have spoken about what we're going through, right?
Right.
It's become easier to talk. Also, the stereotypical father doesn't exist in my mind anymore. That father is dead.
Yeah.
कि मुझे ऐसा होना पड़ेगा.
Yeah.
You better respect me because I'm a father. No. He or she, your kids will respect you for what you do.
And
not
what your
because you're the
connection
father.
is with them.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter to them. तुम मेरे बाप हो, वो एक हद तक होता है.
Right.
But the way you are,
Yeah.
the way you conduct yourself, the way you do things, the way you speak, the way you handle yourself with other people,
Yeah.
all of it, and the sum total of all of that is respect or disrespect.
Right.
They will never disrespect you on a whim.
Yeah.
They will disrespect you if you think that you're
a
not doing
particular
something
action,
correctly
right.
because they are putting you up on a pedestal already. You're my dad. You need to do things correctly.
Yeah.
Okay? So never ever think of their criticism as, अरे यार मेरे बच्चे ने मुझे ये बोल दिया.
हाँ, बेटी ने ऐसे बोल दिया.
हाँ, बेटी ने बेइज्जती कर दिया, बेटे ने बेइज्जती कर दी. बेइज्जती नहीं कर रहे हैं. वो बोल रहे हैं कि तुम तो हमारे डैड हो, तुम तो हमारे हीरो.
Yeah.
अगर हमारा हीरो ही ठीक से बिहेव नहीं करेगा तो हम कैसे करेंगे? So your kids never do what you tell them to do. Your kids do what they see you doing.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah.
I mean, you say this is fascinating because I've had my own journey with, sometimes I've had like far too many drinks.
Right.
And I have not behaved in ways that I would have liked to be. I was not proud of my behavior.
We've all done that.
And my kids will tell me that, Daddy, what was that?
Yeah. Why?
And to your point, they you sort of came down from where they have you, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's a good point too. Alcohol is something that alters your mind in such a way that you're not aware at that point.
No.
You think you're being boisterous and you're being fun and you're the life of the party, but the kids are embarrassed.
Yes, exactly. So you're talking about this pre-COVID, post-COVID. Where were you going with that?
So what you said about how your son perceived you when you were inebriated and having fun, what we think is having fun and being boisterous and being the life of the party, sometimes does end up embarrassing your kids.
Yeah.
And now again, they're at that age. They don't want to be embarrassed by their heroes.
Right.
My hero can never embarrass me. So fortunately, in our house, our bar doesn't open unless people are home.
Yeah.
But I do get a sense that, my daughter though tells me very clearly that that's it.
Yeah.
No more drinking for you. Because she wants the best for her hero in terms of longevity. And so I asked her, I said, why? She said, you need to ask me. Once I say, it's the diktat. So anyway, fortunately then I kind of quit alcohol. And I anyway wanted to quit all those things because I want to now focus inside and out of my body.
Right.
So it's not just the aesthetics of looking big and muscular and all that. I just want to feel good, feel young, I wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock absolutely bright. And early. Otherwise,
I quit last year.
Oh, you did?
I quit in
Best decision
August,
you could ever take.
and I can tell you, it's the best thing I've done.
It's a life changer, and
I would tell
everybody who's looking, because I'm assuming that your show is Dadsense.
Yeah.
And so all the dads, there must be some sense put into your head. It is not cool anymore.
Right.
Alcohol is not cool. When you're younger, of course, you don't. Like I said, your BMR is so high that you digest and process anything.
Go through anything.
To you. But I would say, it is not something that you need to socialize. It is not something that you need to feel good. Your dopamine release can come from very many ways.
Yeah.
So what the major change that has happened to my life and a lot of people in their late 40s is that we've taken up a sport called pickleball.
Yep.
It is the fastest growing sport across the world. It is so popular because you're hanging out with each other.
Friends.
I mean, I've been a member at a club for the last 20 years and I didn't know anybody. In the last 8 months, I know almost everybody in my age bracket.
That's fascinating.
We play pickleball.
All through the sport.
Yeah, all through this sport.
Yeah.
Because, everybody comes, like their wives, their husbands, brothers, everybody comes to the court. You play together, then you get into the pool or you go into the steam room
You
and
don't
you
need
sit
alcohol.
and chat and you bond. So now, professionally, pickleball is replacing the evening drink at a local bar.
Right.
Everybody after work meets for pickleball, bang out a couple of hours of
get
pickleball,
your
let your dopamine
energy,
flow, and that dopamine kick is way better than alcohol.
Absolutely.
So I'm not giving any gyan to your viewers because
Right.
I shy away from giving gyan because advice is so free, it doesn't matter. But from experience, I can tell you this shift is going to be excellent for everybody in their 40s.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, going from my personal experience, I started.
And also, I must add one thing.
Yeah.
I am enjoying not drinking.
Yeah. Genuinely enjoying. Right?
Genuinely
It's not because
enjoying.
you're being prohibited.
No.
Or you're going through this austerity.
No, nothing of that
Sort of
I'm just
stoic life.
enjoying
Right.
the way my body feels.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing. That's a great
yeah.
message. Speaking of that, I know we'll start to wind down now. Again, for men or in people in general to follow kind of a habit, I would be curious, what's your health protocol look like? Just at a very high level, whatever you can share.
No, so
From your routines.
the first line is that have a routine.
Okay.
I'm like a soldier. So is my daughter. Morning to night, I have a routine which I follow diligently
How long have you been doing this?
all my life.
Wow.
All my life. My daughter is exactly like that. She has a routine. Nowadays, of course, they have an Excel sheet and they have so many apps on the
They
phone.
have an
to do
app,
it.
yeah.
In my time, I used to have everything in my mind, even till date. I mean, I don't write anything down. I know 9 to 11 workout, 11 to 12 this, 1 o'clock lunch, evening snack, pickleball, read or watch TV, go to sleep.
Yeah.
If you're shooting, go to the gym slightly early, go for work, in the break, do a little bit of functional if you can to keep yourself limber because you're sitting all day.
Sure.
Come back home, eat, read, go to sleep. So I follow it like a soldier. Like a soldier, if your colonel tells you,
Yeah.
1300 hours, stand under that tree. You will go and stand under that tree. You will follow that order. So I follow that in my brain.
That's
And it's helped
incredible.
me in good stead because, nothing can beat a routine.
Yeah.
People say, "Arey yaar, but routine can get boring." Change the routine. So simple.
Yeah.
The second thing I'd like to say is please do not make rocket science out of your diet or your workout. See, there's so much of
Keep it simple.
information on social media.
Yeah.
The algorithm is such that if you say on Instagram, pause on a workout video for more than 30 seconds, your entire feed is full of that body part.
Right.
And every post is going to give you different set of exercises.
Yeah.
Don't get confused.
It's quite overwhelming.
Pick the 5 best exercises for your chest. Follow that. After 3 months, you're getting bored, change the whole thing. But follow that for 3 months. That's what they say, that your body takes that kind of to get the maximum benefit out of any routine.
Yeah.
So for me, that's always been the case. Of course, I try out new things.
Sure.
Of course, boredom sets in. But it has never thrown me off path, ever. Boredom has never. In fact, I enjoy the boredom in my life.
Yeah, because it's kind of boring, but at least you.
People think being alone is boring, but for me, being alone and that boredom is amazing. It rejuvenates myself. I don't have to do bullshit talk with anybody. I'm not, I'm not exercising I'm not making any effort.
Right.
That is my time.
Yeah.
And that is also part of my day. I do Vipassana, which is meditation. Unfortunately, for the last year or so, I've not been able to do it continuously, which is the challenge.
Yeah.
Because your mind is so active
It's
and
racing,
you're kind of trying to put in fill your day with so much other stuff. You end up neglecting that. So I would tell your audiences that's a vertical that you must have in your life is meditation.
I was going to ask you. It's
For
another
sure.
thing that I've started this year. It's been again game changing, life changing.
Yeah. You started that?
Yeah, started meditation this year.
Meditation is, according to me, should be right up there.
Absolutely.
Because I feel a sound body leads to a sound mind and a sound mind leads to a sound
Yeah.
body. Of course, you have to put in effort both places.
Sure.
You're going to the gym, you're pumping iron, you're doing your cardio, you're playing sports, you're working for your body. What about your mind?
Mind. Yep.
So like you go to detox your body, I also go to detox my mind, which is Vipassana.
Have you been doing it
Since 2014.
That's
11 years now. But unfortunately, and I must admit that the continuity goes for a toss at times.
Yeah.
Which
Do
I'm
you
trying
follow
to
any
work
app
on.
or is it a guided meditation or
No,
you just kinda-
it's not. Vipassana is not any guided anything. I mean, you do have Gurudev on the app. So
Yeah.
Guruji just tells you what to do, but you can do it yourself. It's just breathing.
Got it.
You just sit and breathe. You see the breath going in and out of your nostrils, and that's all you have to do. And once you reach that stage, this is called Anapana.
Yeah.
Anapana is the first couple of days when you get used to your breath. So you
Breathing,
know
yeah.
what is hitting what.
Right.
It's hitting here, whatever. And the next stage is Vipassana, when you sit and you breathe, and you can find out what is happening in your body. So you find out little currents, somewhere is paining, somewhere is saying, but you realize that while you're meditating and you're thinking, oh, I can feel that pain in the knee, wait for 3 seconds, that pain disappears.
True.
That's what it tells you about life.
True.
That's there now, but it's
Everything
not
is
constant.
everything is transient.
This too shall pass.
Right.
And it does pass. So
Absolutely.
that's what Vipassana gives you. And if I could tell somebody, even one person, I could convince him or her to start meditating, I think I'd be successful in life because that's your mainstay.
Yeah, I was.
And the last thing I have to say is
Yeah, please.
your diet.
Right.
Working out, meditation, and your diet. And
Yeah.
of course, pick up a sport if you can. Again, diet, don't make it rocket science. Simple food. Macros and this gram and those many grams,
This many
that
fruit.
you need after you reach a particular level and peak of fitness.
Yeah.
Then everything you put into your body is extremely crucial. But day-to-day life, to look the way you are, you just need to eat healthy, eat
Yeah.
intelligent, cheat one meal in a week because your body needs that cheat.
Sure.
Because body can't forget everything.
Your
that
mind
you like.
needs a little bit of release as well
Yeah, of
to come
course.
back to the.
Yeah, and then when you come back, you come back stronger. That's it. That's my.
So do you keep a sort of a mental note on the
Yeah.
protein and the carb and?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
Because I'm working out at that level that I need that kind of protein.
Yeah.
Again, but I don't make it rocket science. And one day, if I get a little lesser of protein, I'm fine. Don't dwell on it.
Sure.
Oh my God, I missed a protein shake. No.
And don't drown in guilt.
Don't drown in all those thoughts because who has made this or this whole thing? The people used to do it earlier also. No?
Correct.
There was a Dara Singh, right?
Right.
Lassi, sugar, ye, wo. Of course, those times were different. Of course, food was cleaner. Of course, there were lesser chemicals. Of course, they used to have a different
Less stress in
lifestyle.
life. Yeah.
But still, it's not rocket science, you know. Less is more.
I was watching your video with Kunal Vijaykar and
I
you guys
know.
were eating.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, when I eat, I just eat guilt-free.
Oh, you saw that. So
Yeah.
then you realize I had
Yeah.
samosas.
Yeah, I know.
Because that studio, which is a friend's studio, has got the greatest samosas across the road. So before I go there, I said, bhai, wo samosa
Samosa
zarur
de
order
dena,
karna."
हाँ.
And they were like, we are going to talk to you about fitness. You're going to eat samosas. I said, yeah, and chai. So you do it.
But you eat absolutely, just enjoy that samosa, right?
Enjoy
When
that.
you're
One.
having it.
Yeah. So I'm saying that don't have both of them.
Yeah.
Have that one samosa, enjoy it. It
Yeah.
is not going to harm you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, I was brought into meditation with an accident. I had taken my kids to the doctor.
Oh.
And the doctor was just telling them, kids, I'm going to give you a formula, meds. I think meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep.
That's it. That's the
Right?
amazing. I'm going to use that. I love
And
your doctor.
my kids loved it. And my son started, and he said, go to do Headspace.
See,
Do
they
it.
could have, it could have been DEMS also. But it is meds. Meditation is the mainstay.
Exactly. Start with meditation.
Yeah.
So he and I started doing this from this year. Now he's sort of in a bit of a wobbly stage, but I have completely fallen in love with it. It's,
And I would
it's
say,
life-changing.
do push your kids at this age.
I am.
Because another thing is that people think that, अरे यार जब बुड्ढे हो जाएंगे तब करेंगे.
Yeah, no,
It is the reverse.
totally.
You need meditation. You need to be calm when you're going upwards, when you're upwardly mobile, when you
through
have
the
so
prime
many
time of your
challenges,
life.
when you have
Yeah.
to achieve so much that your mind is scattered.
Yes.
That's when you need to meditate.
Yeah. I agree.
After you're 40, when you kind of either achieved or not achieved,
Yeah.
it's still going to make a difference, but you need it when you're 16, 18, 20. First through your school, then university,
College,
then your earlier years at the job
Yeah.
to keep you calm.
Yeah. So I'm going to push my
You must.
kids.
You must.
Even though they're sort of on the fence now.
Yeah,
it's
but
been-
that's also understandable.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah.
Because it's not the cool thing to do, right?
Yeah, I
mean,
think
who
their
meditates?
attention span is this much. But even if they
that
do
helps
3
you.
minutes of breathing, I think it's
That
a lot.
also, offsets their dependence on tablets and media. And
100%.
the moment you meditate, that half an hour, every 3 seconds, your mind will go away.
Yeah.
That power to bring your mind back. That's what they'll develop out of
Correct.
meditation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can write it down for you.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I'm pretty sure it's helpful for our audience. I have one last question, and
Right.
we'll sort of wind down on that. Failures. I'm pretty sure you had a massively successful life, but I'm sure you've had your own share of failures, and it's integral to all of our lives. How have you dealt with failures, and what would you say to others who were struggling and who sometimes they lose hope? How have you
first
dealt
thing
it yourself?
So, like I told you earlier in the interview, I've never let my failures really go to my heart.
Yeah.
But I am built that way. Not many people are built like that.
Have you experienced real
I've had
abject
more failures
failures?
than successes. I've been here for 30 years. You've only heard 3 of my films' name. What does that mean? That means in 30 years I've had 2 hits. Have you heard of another actor who's still here, who's still being interviewed, and who has had 2 hits in his entire career? Kabil
Come
and
on,
Shootout and
you're being
Lokhandwala.
modest and humble.
No, I'm
now.
not being modest. I'm being truthful. I never, I don't like to bullshit about my achievements or hide my failures. My failures have been very public. Like I said, when I was launched, they said that this bugger is going to shake Shah Rukh Khan and he's going to
Right.
shake the firmament. And it was out in the print. And people used to come and interview me and they used to call me all sorts of names, the Hanka Chanka male and all of that. It felt very good, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are 2 ways of looking at it. It should make you feel good and make you try harder.
Right.
Okay, if they are saying this, that means they are seeing potential.
Yeah.
Let me
I
realize
must
that
realize
potential.
my potential. Yeah.
With me, the other thing happened. With me, I got too cocky, too big for my boots because my first show, Sobi-Wan, went through the roof.
Oh, it was.
People had never seen anybody like me on Indian television. Now, an intelligent man would have said, "Okay, that's because times are changing. Till now, it was a time of the Ashok Kumars and the
Right.
quintessential, those kind of actors on television, rooted.
Right.
Now, suddenly, this urban, suave guy has come in on Indian television, which was unheard of, wearing
Yeah.
pink suits and lilac suits.
Yeah.
So people, I think they enjoyed my character.
And it broke a lot of like traditional stereotypes of.
Oh my God!
in
It broke all
character.
sorts of stereotypical, all ceilings, blah blah blah.
Right.
And I think somewhere instead of, I enjoyed that success majorly, but I didn't put in the extra effort towards my craft. I thought I've become Midas. Anything I touch is going to turn gold. It doesn't happen that way.
Right.
I never shied away from working hard, or it was never that I'd give my 99%. I used to give my 100% to anything. But I didn't, I think I became too cocky and very impatient by nature. I'd want to finish things fast, and if you're not thinking as quickly as me, which nobody does,
You
right?
sort of lose your patience.
It's impossible. I would lose my patience, and then probably the work would not be good. But even my shit work was working. So for a young kid from Ahmedabad who was 21 years old, I started to believe that मैं तो मतलब ये कर रहा हूँ, and my wife, who's a theatre actor, would tell me that Rohit, you know, you really need to work on your craft. And I used to tell her, you don't know how to act. The whole country is salivating about your boyfriend. And she, you know, what can she say?
Right.
Had I listened to her and, you know, treated my craft with a little more attention, I think I would have been able to say that I've had 20 hits, not 2. Having said that, the failures never affected me because I was so cocky.
Right.
It's a very strange answer. I was so cocky that the failures didn't affect me. Because it's okay. Projects have failed. I have not. I still believe that. I have not failed. You fail when you don't give your best.
Right.
You fail when you don't put in your best foot forward. You fail when you don't do your homework and go to the set. You fail.
You still did all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will
Which
know
is-
your lines.
Yeah.
I know your questions. I don't know my answers, but I know your questions. When I'm reading a script, I know my co-actors' lines. I know the description of the scene. I know everything like a blueprint in my mind.
Yeah.
And that's what a homework of any actor should be.
Look like him.
I don't understand going to the set and asking the assistant, "Arey, iske baad ki line kya hai?" Boss, you're an actor.
yeah.
While performing surgery, a doctor is not going to ask his
What's the next
assistant,
step?
"Okay,
Right.
dude, what's the next thing? Where do I stitch next?" So I've done all of that, and which is why those failures didn't affect me personally. Maybe I made wrong choices in picking up the film scripts, which I did in hindsight. But again, I thought if I'm there, the picture will work, which it did. Success is similar. I've enjoyed, I mean, Swabhiman was definitely the biggest success of my life, career. And all actors at that time, most of them have disappeared.
Right. I mean,
I'm
30
still-
years later,
30
you're...
years later, I'm still as fresh in the people's mind as Rishabh Malhotra.
Yeah.
So I call it my Sholay, you know.
Yeah.
And so I get excited, but that excitement is for the time being. The moment I go into the next film, I'm a brand new actor, I'm a newcomer, I'm a debutant.
Yeah.
So that's the way I've always treated my career. After a failure, I'm still a debutant. After a success, I'm still a debutant. I'm still learning, I'm still giving my best. My hunger has not even in the least, I don't feel satiated. My hunger is still there, the fire still burns bright. And every morning I tell myself that whatever comes to me now, again I'm going to do it like a newcomer. Because that energy, that rawness, all of that,
Yeah.
if you tell yourself, I'm there.
That's a
So the
very
advice
unique
I'd give
trait.
anybody, not only as an actor,
Yeah, for any
anybody who's
profession.
starting off in life, A, realize your skill set. B, hone your skill set every day.
Right.
Every day, hone your skill set. And 3, be patient. Today, things might not seem good. This too shall pass.
Yep.
Tomorrow, you have had a mega deal signed with a multinational. This too shall,
It shall pass. Yep.
आज जो है वो कल नहीं होने वाला है और ये तो लिखित है
Yeah.
तो वो नहीं होगा तो that's it यार I kept my life pretty simple that way.
Well, I think this is the best place to end
Good
on,
chat,
on
good
that high
chat, bro.
note.
Good
Thank you
chat.
so much.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much for
it's
having me,
been
and
a
I
blast.
hope we meet again for part 2 of this conversation.
For sure, absolutely.
Thanks
Thanks a lot.
man. Thank you.
Thank you.